Welcome back. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to make you question reality. Let's just start.
We do not have that many cows, bro. We do not have that many cows, bro. I need y'all to go watch the movie Soylent Green. I want you to go watch that movie closely. Watch the movie and come back to this video. Do y'all know how many people go through a drive-thru at one restaurant a day? Do you know how many burgers that one restaurant sells a day? Let alone an entire town, an entire city of drive-thrus and restaurants, an entire state of drive-thrus and restaurants, an entire country of drive-thrus and restaurants, especially in a gluttonous country like America. Are y'all fucking mental? Does it really need to be explained that not all of this shit is cow? I'm not finna say what I want to say because I do not want to get this video shadow banned and I don't want to get it taken down. Y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm trying to say right now.
Did you know the CIA uses this technique to make anyone fall in love within 2 hours? Elite manipulators use something called manufactured intimacy, and it's scarily effective. Here's how they do it. First, they create artificial danger or excitement. Your brain releases adrenaline, which it mistakes for attraction to whoever's nearby. That's why adventure dates work so well. Then they use strategic vulnerability. They share a personal secret, making you feel special and trusted. This triggers your brain to release oxytocin, the same hormone released during love. Finally, they mirror your subtle movements with a 3-second delay. Research shows this subconsciously makes you feel deeply connected to them. Here's the crazy part. Once you know these tricks, you'll start noticing them everywhere, in dating, sales, and even politics. Stay safe out there.
Stay safe.
What's the reason why people don't become millionaires?
Because I think they think that that number is bigger than them. That's number one. Like people think $1 million. Oh my goodness, that's so much money. I could never do that. Right. Well, you're right. Now you are correct. Right. And so, but the $1 million, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, it's not that much money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would hate. There was a time when I could barely fathom making $1 million and had no earthly idea what it might feel like. But I still desired to do it. Now, if a whole year went by and all I made was $1 million, I'd be like, where did I mess up? What did I do wrong? I don't really like a whole month to go by and we don't at least generate $1 million. Now, if I were full time, I would like it to be more.
Right.
So the more realization, I never thought of this before, Omar. The more realization that you have about how much bigger than $1 million you are, the less time it takes you to make $1 million. Never thought of that, but just now. Thank you for bringing that up.
Welcome.
One of the most famous reincarnation cases in history is that of Shanti Devi. Shanti Devi was a girl born in Delhi in 1926, and from around the age of 3, she began recalling details of a former life in a town called Mutra, about 80 miles away. She stated that her name had been Lugdi, and that she had been born in 1902, and had married a cloth merchant named Kedarnath Chubi. She also said that she had given birth to a son and died just 10 days later. Shanti continued to make such statements, and when she was just 9 years old, her family wrote a letter to see if such a person as her claimed husband actually existed in Mutra. Her claimed husband answered the letter and confirmed her statements. He then sent a relative to her home, and afterwards he came unannounced himself, and she immediately identified both of them. The following year, in 1936, after it was established that Shanti had never left Delhi, a committee was appointed to witness her visiting Mutra with the purpose of verifying her recognition of people and places. At the train station, Shanti recognized another of her claimed husband's relatives in a large crowd of strangers. She was then put in a carriage with no directions, and she instructed the driver through the streets leading them straight to her claimed husband's house that she recognized even though it had been repainted a different color. She even recognized her claimed husband's father and correctly answered detailed questions about the house's layout, down to the arrangement of the rooms and closets. But it didn't stop there. Shanti claimed to have hidden money in the house, and she pointed to the exact spot.
Wow.
They dug into the corner and found an arrangement for keeping valuables, but no money. Later, her claimed husband admitted that he had found and removed the money after his wife's death. Shanti even used idioms and phrases from Mutra that she had no way of knowing. She also went to the house of her claimed previous parents, whom she correctly identified out of a crowd of more than 50 people and correctly called them by name. Dr. Ian Stevenson studied this case and reported that Shanti made at least 24 verified statements about her past life, with no incorrect details recorded. So, could this be proof of reincarnation?
Yeah, right?
Have you ever wondered why the nicest people in life always have the worst life ever and bad things always happen to them? It's because the world does not reward people who are nice, it rewards people who know who they are. And sweet people tend to let the world walk all over them, and they let other people walk all over them. The only way to live your dream life and get the things that you want is if the world knows who you are, which means you have the biggest ego, you know exactly what you want, and you will do anything to get there. That's exactly why I'm here right now. I'll give you a little house tour. I'm not here because I was the hardest worker. I'm here because of my mind. I knew exactly that I was going to have everything that I have, and I didn't let anyone walk all over me, and I did not let the world shape me. I shaped the world. If you do not create reality, reality will create you, which means reality will throw bad experiences at you and you will not know how to react to it. You have to learn how to actually create your own reality. And that's when you get your dream life. That's when you get everything that you've ever been searching for.
So Elon Musk tweeted this the other day, and this tweet has me so hot because the fake victimhood and the wanting to be oppressed so bad is so triggering. And I want to make it very clear that the reason that Starlink does not operate in South Africa has nothing to do with the fact that Elon Musk is white and everything to do with the fact that he refuses to comply with the Black economic empowerment laws. Now, in case you didn't know South Africa's history, here's a little breakdown. South Africa has been colonized since 1652. And during this period, the Dutch and the British went back and forth fighting different wars over land and control of South Africa. During this colonial period, the indigenous Black people of South Africa were stripped of their land, their rights, political rights, economic rights, all of that. And then fast forward to 1948, when the white minority government, the National Party, took over South Africa and implemented what we know as apartheid. Now, the apartheid government implemented laws that literally divided South Africa along racial lines, with white people at the top and Black people at the very bottom. Apartheid laws systematically took away land, economic power, political power, social power, everything from Black South Africans. And what you have now is that white people make up 8% of South Africa, but hold the majority of the land and the economic power. So when apartheid ended 30 years ago, this is not old history, this is recent history. 30 years ago, I am 30 years old. The year that I was born was the year that apartheid ended. When apartheid ended, the new government had to implement laws and mechanisms to try and rewrite the injustices of the past and try to uplift Black South African people and create a more equitable and equal society. One of those ways that they're trying to do that is through Black economic empowerment laws. Black economic empowerment, or BEE laws, are in place to ensure that Black South Africans can have an opportunity to participate in the economy. Starlink does not operate in South Africa because Elon Musk refuses to comply with these laws. Now, in South Africa, for Starlink to operate, they need a license. In order to get this license, one of the requirements is that 30% of the company needs to be owned by Black South Africans. This is a part of the BEE initiatives. Now, this rule is implemented and imposed on all companies that wish to participate in the South African economy. This has nothing to do with Elon Musk being white. if Starlink was owned by a Black American or a Chinese person, they would still need to comply with these laws. And literally all other multinational technology companies have managed to comply with these laws, because what most of them do is they enter into strategic partnerships or joint ventures with local South African companies. So for example, Amazon Web Services partnered with local data center providers in South Africa who comply with BEE in order for it to participate in the South African market. Microsoft has done the same. They partnered with the South African telecommunications company Vodacom that complies with BEE standards. Now, Starlink has not agreed to do any of this, despite the fact that most major tech companies do operate in South Africa. But the reason why Starlink is not in South Africa has nothing to do with the fact that Elon Musk is white, and everything to do with the fact that he refuses to comply with laws that are in place to uplift marginalized groups. Now, there are a lot of valid criticisms about BEE, with a lot of people arguing, rightly so, that these laws have created kind of a minority Black elite. And we can talk about that in another video.
Trump is the. How old are you?
I'm about to turn the big 40.
Damn. Would people think that you're older or younger?
I really hope they're going to think I'm younger.
How old do you think she is?
I'm gonna say 17.
And how old are you?
I am 36.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
I'd like to say younger.
How old do you think she is?
I reckon she's about 25.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
Because I'm quite big, I reckon people think I'm older than 19, yeah.
How old do you think they are?
55.
Right, and how old are you?
I'm 16.
And would people think that you're younger or older?
I think older, definitely.
How old do you think she is?
Don't know, like 26.
And how old are you?
I'm 17.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
Probably younger, to be fair.
How old do you think they are?
I think 19.
And how old are you?
I am 32.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
I think they'd say I'm younger.
How old do you think she looks?
She looks a bit old, 23 maybe.
And how old are you?
13.
And would people think that you're older or younger?
I'd say older.
Welcome back to Random Fun Facts you probably did not know, but for some reason I do. Let's get started. Have you ever wondered which came first, the color orange or the fruit orange? The color orange was actually named after the fruit. This is something that may be common knowledge, but I had no idea, which I thought was very cool. There was a Twilight fan fiction that had the names changed that turned into the 50 Shades of Grey franchise. Orcas are a natural predator of moose, and I'm assuming this has something to do with Alaska. If you are 7 feet tall, you have a 1 in 6 chance of being in the NBA. The largest air force in the world is, you guessed it, the United States Air Force. The second largest air force in the world is the United States Navy. Rats can laugh, but we can't hear it, which is cool or terrifying, depending on how you look at it. Against a common misconception, when you eat really spicy stuff, you're not actually damaging your body, although your body does read it as an internal fire. We don't have great taste receptors for spicy, so we just read things as physically hot or physically cold, and your brain reads mint as being physically cold. That's another reason why sometimes whenever you're touching something and not looking at it, you have a hard time identifying, is this cold or wet? And if you have animals, this is a question you ask yourself far too often. The Rick and Morty scene where they're arguing in a court, you're going to be in the court, is a real court transcript. I think that is incredible. The Eiffel Tower has a tiny apartment at the very top of it, created by its designer, that he was going to live in, but currently it hosts 2 mannequins, one of him and one of Albert Einstein. And speaking of the Eiffel Tower, it actually grows during the summer when it's hot due to the metal expanding. Grand Central Station has tennis courts. It also used to host record studios and a variety of other things. Mount Rushmore has a secret room behind Abe Lincoln's head that was originally intended to host artifacts, but they decided not to keep them there, and so it's just an empty room and a piece of stone behind it. It's actually a really cool picture if you look it up. China rents out pandas to the rest of the world for zoos and things like that. And pandas, oh, we love them, but they're so dumb.
Yeah, right?
They have to force them to mate because they're just free and dumb. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. A cloud can weigh up to 1,000,000 pounds, which is just unimaginable to me. A teaspoon of honey represents the life work of about 12 bees. Hippos actually can't swim. They either just walk on the floor or they push themselves off, which is very cute. And lastly, Julius Caesar created something known as the Year of Confusion, where he was correcting a previously too short calendar to make it the appropriate length based on astronomy, and so he added 90 days to 1 year, it being called the Year of Confusion. Which one of these was your favorite? Did you know any of these?
Here's some rappers that don't believe in God. Lash, get him. Number 1, Playboy Cardi. Bro's whole persona is demonic. And I know a lot of y'all motherfuckers gonna defend this shit. Not gonna lie, how can you be a Christian and still listen to him? Or Catholic? If you believe in a higher up, how can you listen to this man? Do y'all not see what the fuck he has tatted on his neck? That shit says Satan. Look at this shit. Bro has devil horns on his stomach. Like, dog, you cannot defend this shit, bro. And I'm gonna give y'all a better look on this tat. That shit dead ass says Satan. Look at this nigga. This shit don't scream demonic to you? Come on now. If he does believe in God, we know what God he believes in. Number 2, Tyler, the Creator. Now, Tyler himself did not come out his mouth and say this. But if you go and do one quick Google search, you'll see that he does not believe in God. Does a person who wears this believe in God? Mind you, he wore this on stage. So any of my Christians that listen to him, hey, it was a good run. Don't get me wrong, they got some good music. But me personally, I just can't condone that. And no, I'm not forcing God on anyone. But me personally, anyone who supports Satan, I can't fuck with. I'm gonna give y'all another look at this shit too. Wore this shit proud as fuck. And that's not even drip for real. Number 3, Ice Spice. Again, she didn't come out her mouth and say this either. But wearing an upside down cross tells me everything I need to know. Here's a better look at it too. Another one. And who do you think gave it to her? Who gifted that to her? Go ahead, take a guess. I'll wait. Dum da da da. This motherfucker gifted it to her, and she accepted. And shit, while we at it, I don't know why this motherfucker was beefing with M. Y'all part of the same family. And it's okay if you don't believe in God. It's actually okay if you don't believe in God. I won't look at you any differently. But the second you start worshiping Satan, I 100% will. That satanic shit is not supposed to be positive. It's supposed to be negative. So my black ass will stay far, far away.
You were never ever meant to see this, but it's now become one of the most groundbreaking news stories. I'm sure you've all heard of Noah's Ark in the Bible. Like, if you haven't, I'd be pretty damn surprised. Of course, this being one of the biggest, most renowned bits in the Bible, which many people for years have been trying to prove and disprove on the other side. There has been some huge news in the last couple of years, and it just got far crazier in the last couple of days. Well, no, the whole point of Noah's Ark was that everything started happening, they got all the animals on the boat, and then they took to sea. So of course, one of the big questions that people have been asking is, well, where is the Ark now? Surely there's some reminiscence of it. Well, this is Mount Ararat in Turkey, where they made a discovery a couple of years ago. You probably saw this photo about a year ago, which people were saying they had found Noah's Ark in Antarctica because look at it, but no, that's literally just an iceberg, it was proved. On this mountain in Turkey, they found this strange rock formation, which, yeah, just looks like a mountain. But when you look at it more, it's a bit strange. It's how they depict the actual Noah's Ark would look. That's the mountain. This is where it gets crazier, so stick with me. They have been running tests on the rock here and basically found out that it does contain old bits of wood, and like, this isn't just an organic mountain as such. Trying to explain in the most simple way possible. So estimated to be the exact length that Noah's Ark is depicted. The most recent news from soil testing and testing the whole rock and formation, they say that this thing was definitely underwater at some point, with scientists estimating the time it would have been underwater the same time depicted in the Bible.
And tell them, for a lot of people to be great, you gotta leave your city.
Yep.
For a lot of people to be great, homie, you gotta leave your city because your city ain't gonna let you be great. Nigga, they remember when you wasn't great, so they gonna always try to remind you when you wasn't great. Your city gonna always try to remind you, man, I remember you used to be, you was just old blue, man. You ain't Charleston White. They want to remind you when you were blue.
That's why rappers get killed in their hometown.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I 100% believe that.
There's a scripture, homie, in the Bible that says a prophet has no honor. This is a biblical scripture that says a prophet has no honor in their own hometown. You're not welcome in your own home, especially if you're great. That's why great gotta go to an out-of-state college. Gotta get away from home. They will never see you great at home. Once you leave and come back, then they recognize the greatness.
Is there a conspiracy theory that you believe in?
Oh my God, is there any that I don't believe in? Is a better question. Babe, what's my favorite conspiracy? Oh, chapstick is a scam.
What?
Yeah, it's meant to be addictive, so you have to just keep buying it. It's bullshit.
So what do you put on your lips?
Nothing.
Okay.
Water.
Water.
Yeah.
Oh, hydration.
Yeah.
You know, Princess Diana, all of that stuff. I think it was a setup.
Oh, absolutely. She was murdered.
Yeah.
9/11's an inside job. I believe a lot of crazy stuff. George Bush did it. Halliburton.
Moving on.
Aliens and like that mountain in Tibet that nobody can climb.
Oh.
It's really interesting.
Wait, tell me more.
There's like some mountain and it's shaped like a pyramid, and supposedly people that try and climb it, they like come back really aged.
Really
Really?
aged?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to look into this.
Taxes.
You don't believe in taxes?
Yeah, like why we getting taxes? Just add the money to it already.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Oh.
Cloud seeding and chemtrails.
Wait, tell me more about that.
Yeah, so apparently they make clouds and then they seed the clouds to make rain in places like here.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm not willing.
Yeah, we're not gonna share the yeah.
Are they
for sure.
twins?
So the interesting work going on right now is you basically can take any cell from a person's body, turn it into a stem cell, and then turn that stem cell ultimately into an egg cell. So you no longer need to go harvest eggs. And so you don't need to actually go get the eggs from the woman. You can make eggs from skin cells, for example. So in the next couple of years, there's a few little technical breakthroughs that are happening right now that will enable this, where fertility clinics may end up just taking a little bit of your skin cell, creating stem cells, creating egg cells, and that's how we're going to end up doing IVF in the future at any age. So you can make eggs at any age, and you can ultimately produce offspring at any age. You don't need to actually have active, healthy eggs.
This
You
is
like that
fantastic
one?
because this is a
Yeah.
nice workaround for the people that are trying to ban IVF because of the abortion protocol. They're because it basically life begins at conception is part of their belief, right? But and the idea
You could take one egg cell, you could take one
Exactly.
sperm, make
what
a
you
fertilized
do
egg. Yeah.
for those people who don't know, but like what you do with IVF is you try to harvest as many as you possibly can because not all of them are viable. And it's a pretty brutal process for the woman to go through. But if you could just grab something from the skin, you'd have almost unlimited eggs.
When a woman is born, she has all her eggs in her body. And as she ages, those eggs get depleted. And eventually she doesn't have very good viable eggs left over. So this gets around that problem of not having viable eggs. We can be very selective about the eggs. And so there's a future here in the next couple of years where fertility becomes a simpler, hopefully easier, and more widely available service than it is today, where it's really challenging technically. And you've got to go do something that's invasive, and you've got to hope that there's good healthy eggs and there's a good number of eggs and so on and so forth. So really interesting science.
This is awesome.
Once you start realizing that almost everything has toxins in it, starting with our water, our food, appliances, our clothing, toiletries, the environment, right? The list goes on, and it can get overwhelming, right? And it's a very dangerous thing because it puts you in a state of fear. I was in that state where I became overly critical of myself and the choices that my friends and family were making because I was just overwhelmed and put in a state of fear of like, oh, I have to check every single ingredient of this. Oh, you gotta watch out for all these chemicals in our water or all the polyester materials in our clothing, right? But leading with fear is only gonna scare everybody away, right? You're not gonna feel happy, you're not gonna feel fulfilled. Right? So instead, the opposite end would be gratitude and love. How can you look at this situation with gratitude and love? Well, you got to look at the bad or things that don't serve you and say, okay, well, it's an opportunity for you to make an improvement and make a better change, better choice for you to have a better result. Right? Or you can make something that is bad and make an improvement, make it better so that it can serve us better, right? And what happens when you start making that kind of investment? Other people are going to see, okay, well, they see your change that you made and that investment. They think that they can do the same, which they can, right? And think about the impact that it can have on those people around you, especially if you have kids, right? They have academics, they have athletics, they have work, right? You want them to perform at their best. So if you can experience that your life is improving, mental clarity, sustained focus, feeling healthier, less joint pain, right? Why can't they? Why can't everybody around you? Right? And that's the end goal, so that you experience better, everybody else around you experiences better. Now what's going to happen to all those toxic products? There's going to be less availability for it because less and less people are buying it, right? We want good, sustainable, ethical products on our shelves and not stuff that doesn't serve us. So I encourage you to lead with genuine love and gratitude. It starts with the smallest things, and it'll lead to big things. So, if you're willing to make that kind of investment, I encourage you to look into alkaline vegan and just look at all the ingredients, right? So, if you're ready to make that choice, comment alkaline. Let's go.
A controversial opinion that I know is going to have you guys ready to fight me in the comments, but I don't care because I feel like it needs to be said. If your veneers look like this, it is a botched job. This is considered a botched job in the aesthetics world. And I'm sure we all know at least one person who veneers look like this. Maybe you want veneers that looks like this, but this is considered bad work. And the reason why is because there's this rule in aesthetics that the best work is always undetectable. We are not supposed to know that you have veneers. All we should be able to see is that you have a beautiful smile. And also, these kind of veneers are actually the worst ones that you can get because it requires you to gnaw your teeth down. And these are more transparent, but they're also more aesthetically pleasing. And lastly is that this is considered cheap work. So we can tell that you didn't spend a lot of money on your veneers. Just beautiful. So yeah, black and brown people, I know that you want to start to elevate your appearance as you come into more money, but just know that cheap veneers and bad veneers is actually going to cheapen your appearance. So yeah, do not take the cheapest, obvious, and most loudest route when it comes to investing in your smile because it's very obvious and no real teeth looks like that.
Because I read the script and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Kevin Hart were already attached, and I was like, these characters are jumping off the page. And my role, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna play the most popular girl in high school. For some reason, I know how to play that. And then it was such a hit. It was way bigger than I even anticipated. And now, I think we're gonna make part 2. I think you have to. I think you have to. They kill you if you try to walk away, and they clone you.
I'm gonna buy some strawberries, and I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.90, and I will take my strawberries outside.
You can't
if
take
you want
that.
to call the police,
You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that.
I paid by legal tender.
No, don't break the door. Do not break the door. No, don't touch.
I paid by legal tender, and I am going out with my strawberries. And I'm going to let them.
What do you guys think? He has paid, right?
I paid by legal tender in this dystopian place.
Detail
They
on
give you
what
the money, but they don't want
I've
to take
been
it.
through. So
That's
basically,
crazy.
I was working at UMG, like I said, for 9 months, right? I was invited to a Christmas party. Now, if you know UMG, if you know where the building is, around the corner, there's a bar. Now, I ain't gonna lie, there was a woman in there that I liked. She was like, yeah, I'm going. You going? And I was like, yeah, all right. You know, there was some higher ups in there. You know, we having drinks. Something told me not to drink because this is what they do. They get you drunk, get all the information they could get out of you and get you to sign these bogus ass contracts. That was one thing that kind of threw me off. So he's like, yeah, you come to the party and I'll introduce you to her. Liz, Joni, and Michelle. I'm drinking like an idiot, which I should have never did. Liz calls me over, says, hey, tell me about yourself. Mind you, I'm drinking beers, I'm drinking vodka, I'm drinking wine. But it seemed like my drink was stronger than everybody else's because I was f***ed up. So she's like, tell me about yourself. And I'm like, what do you want to know? She's like, what do you do? So mind you, then the lady, Michelle, right? And I never really liked her anyway because she had a chain. She had a chain on that she wore every day faithfully. Now, when I tell y'all what kind of chain it was, she had a horns, a canutus chain. You know what this is? Canuto chain, the horns? She had that in 24 karat gold and she wore it every day. And it was around her neck faithfully. So clearly I knew what she believed in. She's like, what do you do? I'm like, I just work. She's like, have you ever thought of doing music? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I used to back in the day. And she's like, you believe in ghosts? And I'm like, where did that come from? Yes. She's like, just answer the question. Do you believe in ghosts? And I said, nah, I never seen a ghost before. So she's like, do you know about the room? And Chuck walked in there and they had mirrors. They have events and stuff down there, like rappers come in there. Yeah, they had mirrors and candles and all kind of demonic looking shit. Walked the f up out of there. And I said, yo, man, I'm not with that Santeria shit, man.
Oh, why did she stop it when the little baby was
Them
coming?
rappers is
It's
horrible, man. On the Charlie, the ball, the pop pop, and they do it for M, let's go. And the pop pop. Everything ain't gotta be for everybody, yo. That is garbage.
One more time.
And they call it, cop cop. And they call me, pop pop. And go for M for M for M. Hey, what you wanna do with the pop pop?
Finds rare black Jesus coin in Ethiopia worth $5 million.
You ever wonder what the world was like before European ships started showing up everywhere? Because according to history books, Europe was leading the world. But the facts tell a very different story. Before colonization, Africa had empires richer than any European kingdom. Before colonization, Asia was home to the world's most powerful economies and biggest cities. Before colonization, the Americas had massive civilizations that built cities bigger than London. Meanwhile, Europe, they were kind of struggling. But somehow, history got rewritten to make it seem like they brought civilization to the rest of the world. So tell me, who's really rewriting history?
If guys are playing other guys, and girls are playing other girls, is it so far-fetched to think that girls would be playing guys? Because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Adele looks an awful lot like Sam Smith. And their eyes, nose, and mouth just happen to be perfectly symmetrical to each other. And they even have the exact same finger spacing, where these two fingers seem to hang out together. And I kind of wonder what she means when she says
together.
This. I'm trying to not always be two completely different versions of myself, because it's exhausting. Like, you know, switching on and switching off and so that. So, like, you know, switching on and switching off and so that. So,
oh, craziest rumor you've ever heard about yourself. All right,
I mean, it's
that is a good one.
Everyone seems to think that I'm Adele. In drag. Because we've never been seen in the same room together. And if you slow down her voice, it sounds maybe a bit like mine. So people think that we're the same person, and I'm just in drag right now.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny that we're going to laugh about it when we're telling you the truth.
And Gloria in school through singing hymns and stuff. But for me, Gloria is something that I've called a spirit inside.
I wonder who that spirit could be.
What do Babylon, Atlantis, Tartaria, and the year 2030 all have in common? A lot. The similarities between Babylon and Atlantis are striking. Both high-tech empires. Babylon had the Nephilim. Atlantis had the Greek gods. In the story of Atlantis, Poseidon was mating with a human woman named Cleito, and they were producing demigods that would run Atlantis. In the Bible, Babylon gets out of control and faces judgment via flooding. In Plato's story of Atlantis, it was also flooded or sunken. Tartaria is thought of as a high-tech civilization wiped out by mud floods. Now look at how Atlantis, aka Babylon, is set up as concentric circles. It isn't as obvious, but on these Tartaria maps, you can see similar themes. And look at how the first smart cities are being set up. You won't be able to find a full picture of a circle, but look at what's being shown here. Eerily similar to Atlantis or Babylon. Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's like slices out of the circle in all of the pictures of the first smart cities, which obviously are also going to be high tech. Think about Revelation 12:3, the 7 heads and the 10 horns. In Plato's stories, Poseidon and Cleito have 10 sons. When I run this theory through a chatbot, it says the 7 heads are the brains, the command centers. They make all of the big decisions about the Babylon reboot. The 10 horns are the 10 bloodlines that make it all happen. And here's the kicker. A lot of people think that Plato was trained by Thoth, Nimrod's dad. Thoth, Nimrod's dad, is also thought to be responsible for the respreading of fallen angel knowledge and occult techniques after the flooding. He left Egypt and went to Greece, where it's speculated that he then trained Plato. And then Plato went on to write stories about Atlantis. But of course, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Like, you have a successful album, they want to renegotiate right away. And the artist is like, yeah, I'll do that because you're going to get another million, boom, boom. Yeah, they want to renegotiate, but it's like they're going to tack on how many albums for that. So it's like, I was like, oh, I got these successful albums. I'm going to chill. I'm not going to just renegotiate. I'm good on that, boom, boom. And the longer I waited, the better my leverage played out for me. The more time you take, the more the truth starts to show itself. True. You know what I mean?
Okay, then of course said it's 3 a.m. Oh yes, 12 a.m. out here, girl. How's your baby though? Some chickens are cute. Oh. No. I hate humans. Humans I hate. So.
What was that? Trump and the Macrons.
An example of what you want to avoid at Costco is this seasoned rotisserie chicken. Not only is it sitting under lamps being heated up in plastic, so you're being exposed to phthalates, which are linked to endocrine disruption, cancer. Not to mention, there's also a seasoning in here that has modified food starch, sodium phosphate, which is preservative. There's carrageenan, which is linked to gastro upset, and there's sugar.
Sugar?
I forgot to mention while I was in the store, these chickens are also conventionally raised, which means they are fed genetically modified feed, so higher levels of glyphosate. They are also in a factory farmed setting, which means they
so
are
much
not in
poison
healthy
in
living
this.
conditions, and also given pharmaceutical drugs. This might be $3.79 a pound, but it is $3.79 a pound for a reason. This is conventional meat that is fed GMO feed, so they are eating grains. It's going to be really high in linoleic acid, which is super inflammatory. Not to mention, the lives that these animals have are completely horrible. We do not want to be supporting that.
I would assume you were, what's the opposite of homosexual?
Heterosexual.
I would assume his ass is a homosexual. And he different. So if he was not a homosexual.
You gotta say heterosexual.
A heterosexual. So if he was a heterosexuals, bro, I'm gonna assume that you a heterosexuals and bro a heterosexuals too. I'm already a heterosexuals. So I'm assuming everybody who hangs with me is ahead of the sexuals, bro. If you're not ahead of these sexuals, then
because my dad passed away about a year ago, and I had a box of what nigga you laughing?
Bro, this year that's my goal. That's my goal for 2019.
16 years.
How long you been faithful?
It gets clicks, right?
Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah,
you know, and that's why
18 and above, do whatever the fuck.
That's why I respect Florida. It's illegal. It's illegal to literally get surgery.
Yo, how'd you get a pizza?
No,
out of nowhere.
Tom, I'm gonna tell you right now. What happened with Nick?
When I was 9, I got molested by a guy with Down syndrome.
What?
Don't laugh, Brandon. I'm not laughing.
Why'd you laugh?
It's just
That's fucking rude.
It's such a curveball.
I know. Can I just say something? I'm gonna say it again, and if you smile, I'm gonna leave. Every day for summer.
Every day for summer? What? What?
You can't throw shit in there.
Why?
Because you fucking...
Why do you think they're trying to kill so many Christians?
Look, let's just be totally honest. There's something about Christianity, which is the only world religion I'm aware of, theistic religion that preaches nonviolence, which it does. You know, others don't at all. Christianity does. It's against violence. No, tons of Christians commit violence, but they're in violation of their religion,
right,
in my opinion. You would think it would be the most popular religion with world leaders because it's like the Christians aren't going to hassle you. Jesus says, give unto Caesar what's Caesar's, give unto God what's God. Don't overthrow the government. Like it's a very kind of compliant religion, actually. And inherently pro-peace, and yet they're always the ones who get murdered. When the Spanish Civil War started, in that famous photograph of the communist forces, what's the first thing they opened fire on? A statue of Jesus. There's this famous picture of them firing, you know, their 8mm at a statue of Jesus. And it's like, what is that? I don't think there's a rational explanation for it. I think it's spiritual. Clearly, it's very heartening as a Christian to know that a nonviolent religion triggers people that much. It suggests maybe it's true.
So it's like a spring? Okay. Wow. Physics, man. With unlimited energy. That's electricity at that sound. That vibrating sound. So strong.
In Monaco, Australia, 463 square feet. Drum roll, please. And in Miami, $1 million buys you 646 square feet of prime property.
As my humiliation ritual. With all honors, with flying colors. But the only difference between my humiliation ritual and a lot of others is I was walking with God the whole time. Being deeply rooted in prayer, deeply in search of answers, and deeply rooted and grounded in the palms of his hands through the process of this whole humiliation ritual.
That means you can't rely on the media as it is today either.
Oh, of course not. All the media in this country, radio, television, and print, is all owned by 5 corporations. All of these corporations that own the media are owned and don't write about. You don't talk about because you'll lose your job. That's where the control is. That's why they pay anchormen like Dan Rather $1 trillion a year.
If I do this, give them the signs that I'm good. Hey, y'all see me start taking pictures? You're like, oh shit, she giving them signs. I'm like, my eye. They be like, yeah, we got influence.
We got her. We got her.
Gonna get him.
Just every now and then.
Every now and then.
Every now and just.
Oh,
we got
okay. And they'll contact you.
Is that what Ice Spice was trying to do at the Super Bowl?
It's not a try. She did. And you know what? And I don't care what nobody say, because I'm always right at the end of the day when it comes to this stuff. She's an industry plant. It's common. You came from nowhere. Your little short... No.
Tired. There's an Russian flag.
So you went to a wellness center.
Why is her eyes popping like that? That's crazy.
Tell me about that. What was that like?
A wellness center.
And why did you go to a wellness center?
I don't know. Will took me there. Took you there. I don't know.
He was hosting these courses at like different conference centers, and he'd have like 400 people in attendance, charging them like $2,000 each.
Yeah.
You see, but the way he hyped it up is we would go to the bank with him. Ayokhipha imali, he'd order cash, mhlawumbe 1.4 million in cash. Ayifaka isikhwameni se-Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Then we go to Houghton Hotel, ubhuka khona. Mangene erumini, uset up i-tripod yakhe ne-camera, and then utela imali kanje on the bed. And then he's like, the money's in. This week in trading, Shanghai English engekho. Sometimes he did it in Zulu, and he'd be like, look at this, profits for the week, 800,000. What are you waiting for? Sign up for the course.
Boom.
Then he puts it into a Dior bag. He puts the LV bag one side. Sure. We move from there, we go to Fire and Ice in Melrose. Buka kona, singene rumini, set up tripod, change outfit. Profits for this week, 1.4 million. What are you waiting for? Kshubile. Then he'd go down to the pool, put on his swimming shorts, and then he'd have a smaller bag where in there he had 400,000. He'd be like, midweek profits are killing me. I'll bag 400. Except, Bafo, only Zali, Pino Colada, me. You understand? He'd give the guy like a stack of money. He was making viral content.
Yeah.
Smart. He'd record all of those videos at 5 different locations in 5 different outfits with different amounts of money one day. We were escorting him because he was moving with the cash. That's why he wanted the bodyguards. Plus, it formed part of the look he was trying to project.
Course.
And then he would post those videos over a period of a month, pushing the conference, which is on the 7th of next month, sold out. Because black people, they see the money, they're like, yo,
That's the game, boy.
It was the same money. Because the next day we would take him back to the bank and he would deposit. That's
Shout out to the
and
game.
he said to me, Mina, Mpilimpiloya ya 10 million, 1 million. And I was like, you are actually not that dumb. You just can't speak English.
Sure.
You know cell phones give off radiation. This device measures EMFs, which is a type of radiation. The further we get away from this device or cell phone, you can see that number plummeting to safe levels.
Religions and their founders. Islam. Muhammad. Christianity.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Atheism.
I don't know.
T.H. Huxley.
Okay.
Hinduism.
I don't know.
Brahma.
Okay.
Buddhism.
Buddha.
Siddhartha Gautama.
Oh, I don't know that. Oh, is it the one?
Judaism. Abraham. Zoroastrianism.
What religion is
Zoroaster. Arianism. Arius. Taoism. Laozi.
What's the meaning of that? Did you guys see that? Did you see that? Did you? What's the meaning of that?
You guys want to hear a little bit about the Knights Templar? I found a very weird connection. They were accused of practicing these dark arts, this ancient Egyptian mysticism. What I thought was interesting was their symbol was a red cross, but it was 8-sided.
Yeah.
That cross, that 8-pointed cross, carried throughout really strange organizations. One being Freemasonry, and the story goes that hundreds of years before Columbus went to America, the Knights Templar were actually in America. And there's a conspiracy that they were finding ancient relics and bringing them to America to hide them. When the Knights Templar was dissolved, all of Europe was basically like, if you're a Knights Templar, you're in prison or you're dead. Yeah. The only country that did not do it was Portugal. And what's interesting is that Christopher Columbus, I believe, is from Portugal. Sails on Christopher Columbus's ship was the symbol of the Knights Templar. He used those sails going to America because he knew that the natives there would recognize that, and it wouldn't be as much as of a threat.
These are all Venezuelan money. Stacks upon stacks of it. Ever since hyperinflation happened in Venezuela, a lot of Venezuelans have immigrated into Colombia, and some of them have found creative ways to make a living through their native currency of Venezuelan bolivars. Their biggest bill is $50,000, which is worth 9 cents.
Really? 9 cents?
So this is like $120. You can see the scales have colors to them. This is actually really intricately made. It's very, look at this backside right here. So this is a 1,000 Bolivar note, which has an armadillo in the back, and then there's this armadillo made out of 1,000 Bolivar notes. So we're gonna buy a collection of every Venezuelan bill for about $8.
Think of it like this, right? If you're always by yourself and you're always with you day and night, 24/7, you may as well be best friends with yourself.
Yeah, right. True.
You know why? Because you're gonna die by yourself. You were born by yourself. So you may as well make this your best friend, your soul. Okay? People always say, Nikita, you're always by yourself. You know, you must be so lonely. truth is, I don't feel lonely at all. You know, I have people in my life, but I don't need to rely on their every step, you know? Like, I've just become so comfortable with the fact that I can handle shit on my own now, you know? Yes, there are times in life where you will need people and you do need connections. That's very important. But at the end of the day, you can go to bed at night and say, you know what? If they don't got me, I know I have me. And I know God has me. And that's all that matters. If you can get to that point, life will feel so easy for you.
Did you ever go to a Diddy party?
Yes.
What was it like?
A Diddy party?
Is it like what they have in the media?
Off the hook.
Off the hook?
And whenever they went into the quote-unquote alleged other section, I was never there. That's like, I think in general, getting away from Diddy, and God bless him and whatever else he's dealing with. I don't beat people while they're down. That's just not who I am character-wise. No one can erase his legacy. Bad Boy Records and Faith Evans and Biggie and Craig Mack and 112 and Total and, I mean, Mogul. I mean, I don't know what all that other is going on, or allegedly, but, man, you know, legacy is legacy, man.
What did I just watch? Crazy videos, man. But then interesting. I learned a lot. But this is just for entertainment purposes only, so you take everything that you see in my videos with a grain of salt. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also, click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.